Hello and welcome to Chai Chat with Lavina. Cross-border terrorism is a huge problem within South Asia, of course, India and Pakistan, huge players. But I feel with Pulwama attack and the Balakot incident, the entire issue has gone a notch up. It's shifted. There is a shift which can be seen actually in the oath ceremony that Prime Minister Narendra Modi took, the landslide victory that he had in India. Last time, 2014, Nawaz Sharif, the prime guest, sitting next to him, and now not Pakistan Prime Minister, not even invited. What is happening in South Asia? Is it something that we really need to worry about? What is the role that the region can play, and what is the role that the international community can play? Because South Asia has the highest concentration of terrorist group, and somewhere it has spilled over to the world as well. It is a global problem now, cross-border terrorism. And to discuss this, this is also an issue that is being discussed in a seminar by Democracy Forum, a forum that brings contentious issues to a table and opens up thought process, and which is what is our intention here on Chai Chat as well. And for that, we have journalists, a table full of journalists, from Bashir Ahmed Gwak, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not that bad with names, who's a journalist, covers on borders for a radio station, and that's absolutely amazing. I think I don't really envy, but I envy your position in a way. Mr. Sat Bhamra, journalist and editor of Asian Affairs, that even goes to the White House. So we have our voice can reach there as well. And Fatima Aman from Iran, a journalist and an analyst of South Asia. So thank you very much. I hope all of us journalists will have a lot to analyze.
Thank you for having us.
Can I push the question to you first? You cover on borders, Bashir. Can I call you Bashir?
Yeah,
Thank
of course.
you. Do you feel there is more sensitivity now after Pulwama and Balakot? How do you sense? Because it also happened just before US was withdrawing the army from Afghanistan, and that has made Afghanistan vulnerable.
Yeah, the issue of terrorism has been going on for like a long time in that area, and attacks like Pulwama also have happened before. Like we have witnessed, for example, there was a huge attack at Mumbai and on the parliament, and there were some other huge attacks in Kabul and in Pakistan itself as well. And also recently Iran has not been immune, and there were some attacks on Iranian border guards. So the region and these countries have been on a target from terrorists. What's happening in Afghanistan is currently that the Americans are saying that they are going to withdraw. They want to withdraw for a long time. They want to have a settlement with the Taliban and have some sort of a deal with them. And at this point of time, this escalation between Pakistan and India is not good for Afghanistan, it's not good for America, it's not good even for China, which has a lot of investment in the region. So probably those are the countries that need to solve this issue between these two countries.
Yes, but you sense there is a shift.
There is a shift. Yeah,
there is a
seems
shift.
like.
How do you read into this, Mr. Bhamra? Do you think there is a shift and there is more sensitivity in the region? Which
There's more sensitivity in this.
Worrisome.
And secondly, a wise man said, people don't fight themselves, there is somebody else behind it to make them fight. So what happened in Afghanistan was organized by a power in the world, by Americans, because they wanted to get rid of Russians from there.
Yes.
They used Pakistan forces, Pakistan's government for this purpose. And that's how the initiative started in Pakistan to train the terrorists.
Yes.
And today, Pakistan is the center of all terrorism. Whatever India did, I think that was very little.
Do you agree with that?
It should well, it is the everyday problem. Either you solve the problem or you embrace the problem.
Okay, I mean, what do you think?
So to be honestly, since I cover a little bit, a little different, region. Mine is, I do believe that the insurgency and cross-border terrorism is now a regional issue. It's not within India or Pakistan or Afghanistan or Iran, for instance. By the way, it didn't start just recently. Iran is going on for decades. But since this is a regional issue, it requires a regional solution. So now, I mean, the more animosity between the countries that we are talking about, the more difficult is to reach a solution, a way out of this. So I don't know if the communication channels are destroyed. How would the parties come together and talk about that? I don't think that is a good thing for the region. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I also feel that there's a very big question mark there, that whether one should have gone in or not, and therefore destroyed all the communication channels. I mean, India going into Pakistan and destroying all the communication channels. Or is it possible, because it's been decades since we have been listening to this Cold War story and Mujahideen and them having spread out to all the countries, and it is spilling over here as well. I mean, is there any...
We are listening to this from the last 70 years.
Yes, that's exactly
There
what
were
I'm saying.
chances, there were
Sometimes we get
chances,
tired. Yes.
there were chances when Vajpayee was the Prime Minister of India to solve the problem. But the authorities in Pakistan didn't do it. At the last minute they changed. Otherwise, I tell you, if India and Pakistan get together on friendly basis, the whole world will turn out a big power in the world.
That's
Yes.
right.
And that's why some people, some authorities, some countries don't want that to happen.
What the FATF is doing is like their mandate is that to see how, for example, money laundering works and how terrorists get money from different sources. And what they are telling Pakistan, that you don't have a good mechanism to look to those issues, or to see those resources of that funds terrorism. And they are asking them to have a kind of transparent mechanism to stop these groups from getting funds.
But are you saying that Pakistan...
Therefore, they are in grey list, because Pakistan have not provided enough evidence to show that they have a good mechanism, that where the extremist groups cannot get funds from different sources, for example,
but do you
donations
think,
and
do you
others.
agree that the focus and the effort that they are putting in is good enough?
It's sufficient?
Is sufficient or not?
Pakistanis or others?
Generally, or everyone, right?
Yes.
No, it is not enough.
No, exactly.
It is not enough.
Yeah.
First of all, everybody has to clean his own house.
Yes.
Exactly.
Then talk about others. But there is no power on this earth which can let it happen. Because when they sit, these big people together, they only talk what is good for them ultimately, for their country, for themselves. They don't talk about the humanity, poor people, people in general.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about them. Nobody cares for them. That's why all this is happening.
You know, the entire Middle East and South Asia, it's going on and on and on for many years. The fact, and they never learn that the enemy of your enemy is not necessarily your friend.
Yes.
You know, and they learn it the hard way, and they do it over and over and over. It's not just between India and Pakistan. It's Pakistan and Afghanistan. It's now Pakistan and Iran. I mean, we are not talking about, I'm not necessarily focusing on the state-sponsored terrorism. But it's practically out of hand. You know, there is, and it's becoming a regional issue. It's not that, you know, a country decides to stop supporting terrorism and proxies and things would calm down. There are also homegrown terrorism now. You know, something that you initiate a proxy to do something on your behalf, but at one point it's out of your control. It's out of your touch.
So do we all agree?
And then more dangerous ideologies evolves.
Yes, and it has become a mishmash of so many ideologies that it's very difficult now to gauge. So do we all agree that it's become more sensitive, it's become more dangerous, and regional powers have to now take a stand and clean their own house?
There is no ideology to solve terrorism. It is all personal and very selfish ideologies.
What do you mean?
Means every country thinks about that country, number one. Number two, the authorities over there think of themselves. As Trump will think only about himself, nobody else.
And you're talking about global, so you're talking about India, Pakistan, Afghanistan,
Everywhere.
Iran,
Everywhere.
the whole entire region.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I think we're going to wind up the first segment on this note that we all do agree that the cross-border terrorism has become an issue which really has to be addressed and has to be addressed regionally, but it's not been done, and everyone is only looking out for their own back. But unless everyone has each other's back, the region has each other's back, there is an international commitment to it, we cannot address it. What is that regional and international commitment that is required to stop and curb cross-border terrorism is what we're going to discuss in the next segment, so stay tuned.